Hi everyone. Good evening. Let's see. All right, so I think it's getting started. All right, how are you all doing? How's the Sunday going? Okay, great. So this is Ankit from StudyBuddy, founder and director of PCE and NPT StudyBuddy. We are conducting this live again to hear about like some success stories from our students who were very successful, who made it in their July exam, in their results. So the whole purpose of this live tonight is to hear from our students who were able to make it. Sorry, I had some internet issue and that was making it difficult for me to join in. Okay. But how are you all doing tonight? How's your Sunday going? Okay. All right, just give me a second. Okay. Hi Sharif, that's great. That's great. So July exam wasn't very hard. The exam wasn't very hard, but and even the number of students who went for this exam was very limited. Not many students went for this exam, but the result was mixed. So we are not sure. But I'll say it wasn't as great as March or May exam results, which happens every year with PCE. That's a thing for every year. One of the exam result is not as easy as other exam results, which is a very normal thing. But the only thing is, if anybody who went for the exam couldn't make it, the goal should be repeat the exam as soon as you can. Maybe go for it again for November exam. Okay. Yeah, in the meantime, if you guys have any question, feel free to jump in. Feel free to ask the questions. Okay. All right. I'm having some problem with the video. And if we have StudyBuddy students, I mean, I'm getting some requests. I'm not able to add all of you. I mean, if you guys can request again, I will be able to add you guys to this live. Okay. How should we prepare? What should be the ideal time for preparation? Well, ideally what I've seen is students need at least 5 to 6 months of preparation, and your name. So a student needs 5 to 6 months of preparation, and how should you prepare? As I said, take classes. Hi there. If you can tell me your name, because it's not showing me your name here.
And Simran, sir.
Hey Simrat, how are you?
I'm good, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I'm here just because of you.
No problem, Simrat. I'm very happy that
Yes.
you made it. So Simrat, I'll give that question to you. One of the students is asking, how many months of preparation does a student need for this exam?
Sir, at least 6 months. I started in November and went for July. So until it's you who says, okay, I'm ready, don't go for it.
6 months of preparation. You started in November, you went for the July exam.
Yes, sir.
6 months. Okay. And how many hours were you putting in, like in the beginning and now? Hi, Janki.
So
Hello, sir.
close to exam, I was having 8 to 9 hours sitting. and every day at least 7 hours I used to sit. Like,
For last 6 months?
yes, sir. Like, I don't remember how many times I watched your lectures. I can still repeat your lectures back to back now, like without even watching.
That's good. Yeah, that's good to hear. I mean, July exam. How was the exam in terms of difficulty level? When you took the exam, after that you felt positive, or you're like, you don't know?
So honestly, I didn't. I wasn't. I would say I didn't know because there was so much ethics. So I didn't know what I chose was correct or not. But I just chose the way you told us to think, right? So the strategy I worked with ethics was I anticipated each and every
I,
question before I went to answers.
okay,
I didn't go to answers before because they wrote the answers like such nicely that it felt like, okay, this is the right answer, but that wasn't.
so you were stuck between two close options.
Very much. Yes,
So
sir.
we have two Jankis here, right? Both of you are Janki.
Yes.
That's great. So congratulations to both of
Thank
you. It's a
you.
big achievement. So I'll go with the first. What's your last name? If you guys can tell me your last name, it might be easier to communicate that way.
My last name is Janki Sawani,
And
and
Ronnie.
her last name.
my last name is Shah.
Shah. Okay. So Janki Shah,
Okay.
I'll come to you, Janki. How was the exam? Like July exam that you took? Was it easy or hard? Did you feel positive immediately after the exam?
Yeah, I did feel positive. Like it was more like our mock exam, so I haven't like felt like that. Like I don't know any topic. Like all questions were I was prepared for it, and there was none of that topic that I haven't read like from, or else you haven't like teach anything.
Okay.
So I was pretty like feeling good, but then at the same time I was nervous. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
what was
Yeah.
going to happen.
That's good.
So.
So, Janki Savani, I'll come to you. What do you think about this exam? Did you
Ex-
feel that you were prepared with all the questions? You knew everything, or was it a shocker for you?
No, I felt prepared, but at the same time, I was nervous. It is just nervousness because of the exam. At the same time, like as Janki said, we both were actually study
Yes.
partners, study together. And so that is the other reason, like there was nothing that was new for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely were stuck in ethics questions, like two close up options, but we followed whatever you asked us to do,
Yeah.
like
Like anticipation strategy was so good.
yeah, that's the thing we
Yeah.
followed, and that helped us during the exam. At this another thing I wanted to mention, I followed my mentor very blindly. Like he asked me do this, so I did that, and that helped because he asked us to not to study the day before the exam, like
Yes.
24 hour before the exam, not to study, and that helped because like our brain get fatigued, and I also experienced that in during our mock exams too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's great to hear. So, and your mentor was Hitesh. Hitesh was your mentor,
Yes.
Janki. Okay, that's
Yes.
great to know. So, Simran, I'll come to you again. Simran, tell us about ethics. How should a student prepare? Like, what did you do different in your preparation for ethics that will help every student?
So for my ethics, like I had one fixed time, 5 to 6:30 every day. Anything I was doing, I used to shut it down at 5 because if we don't plan time, we will never give time to ethics. And if we don't give time to ethics, we're not gonna make it. So
Okay.
anything you're doing, like what I did was different was I every single day since I started, every single day I gave 1.5 an hour for ethics every day.
From last 6 months.
From last 6 months, no break for ethics.
Okay. So, how challenging were the questions for you, ethics questions for you? How will you rate them from the 1 to 10? Did you find it hard as 10, easy as 1? How will you rate those questions for you?
Sir, I would say 7. Maybe 5 to 6 questions were like 8 or 9 because options were too close. Otherwise, I listened to your lectures, like your ethics lecture, 5 of them. I think I repeated them 4 or 5 times. So otherwise, 7.
Okay. And were the questions similar to what we did, or was it like completely what are they asking? You had no idea. How exactly was that?
Sir, no, it wasn't like we don't have idea, because what we did is something similar, but just a different scenario.
Different way of thinking.
Just,
Okay.
yeah, but we can get it if we know what we did in class. We have to go with this. This is, yeah.
Okay, that's good to hear. And Simran, one more question for you. How will you rate the difficulty level of this PCE exam with StudyBuddy exam? Which StudyBuddy exam was close to this exam? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
I don't, sir, it's more basic, like very basic. It's not like, if you know concepts, it's not about memorization at all. So I think StudyBuddy exam 4 and 2. Yeah, so very basic, sir. It's not like big things. If you know the ground level, you'll make it. But if you know very big things, you're cramming and you don't know basic concept, you will be stuck.
Okay.
Yes.
That is great to hear, Simran. That's great to hear from you. So Simran, I'll let you go. Enjoy. It's a big victory, big achievement.
Thank you so much, sir.
Stay in touch with us if you need anything. Okay.
Yes, sure, sir. And thank you personally. Thank you so much, sir. I didn't touch any book. It was just your lectures on repeat. And I can challenge anyone now, I think so, in cardio and pulmonary. So it's so strong now.
Now, did you have any mentor? Do you have any mentors, Simran?
Yes, I was with Kiran Nas. It was, yeah, I would definitely recommend mentorship. If you want to follow a role,
okay.
So just, yes, sir.
Go with Kiran. That's great. So Janki, Shah.
Yeah.
Janki, I'll come to you.
Yeah.
Janki, tell me something about ethics. How should a student prepare? What can they do different?
So like same as Simran, I have read like last 2 months, most probably like confirm 1 hour you have to spend on ethics. Like just open any random resource from the College of Ontario site and you can read it. And I was used to do the e-modules which was given on the site. So I was used to do that. And I have, of course, followed your lectures. And literally, sir, I was like picturing you whenever I was like solving a real exam. Like, okay, what Ankit sir was telling in these things. Okay, you have to read the last line again. Because, of course, they have like put every information in whole question, but the last line was like write immediate step or the like anything. So based on that, the question was like the answer can be anything. Like you will find all answer correct. So of course, like that strategy was very helpful for me. And yeah, I have repeated your lectures, and it was a same kind of questions, but the scenarios were different, of course. But yeah, it was manageable for sure. Yes.
Yeah. That's what I heard. Even for students, like some students who like missed by a few points, 580 or 590, they felt exam wasn't hard for them. Like after the exam, they did not feel here it's disappointing or I'm gonna fail. No, that was not their feeling. Like they felt good. Somehow they missed by 1 or 2 points or few points, and I think that could be because of that guesswork. When you're guessing A or B, B or C in ethics, you have to guess appropriately. You have to eliminate, and sometimes those mistakes happen, which can drop your scores. Yeah. Okay, all right, that was good. So Janki Savani, or before you, Janki, now Janki Shah, again, tell me, how about other systems? Anything unique about? Because I've been focusing so much on that other systems. Did you have any strategy for other systems?
So I was used to read other system from book, and I have prepared the like whole notes on that. So as you suggested, like the cause and symptoms and like the differential diagnose and treatment. So I felt like that, like differential diagnose, if you know that, so you can at least like differential diagnose the conditions. So based on that, so for example, if some conditions happen in patients, like in male patients, but there was only one key point that patient was older. So that's, if you miss that, then you won't be able to get answer, because the option was so close that a condition can happen in male patient in like everything, the symptoms was same. So that thing I felt like that if you know the like proper the cause and everything, so of course you will be able to manage in exam.
So basically,
so I have followed.
you finished all the topics from the blueprint, and you
Yeah,
finished that from a
yeah,
textbook.
yes. I have followed a blueprint and I have read at least one time from textbooks to understand the causes and the process of the disease. So you won't, if one time you will understand, then you will not not ever forget. Yes.
That's good.
So
Good to know.
yeah.
That's a good strategy. So lastly, Janki, Savani, tell us something about which section students should focus. That should be their main priority: muscular, neuro, cardio, other systems, and ethics.
For me, I felt like all of them are equally important. But for me personally, I was weak in little bit of neuro, so I revised that multiple time. At the same time, uh, during our strategy class, you were saying that now non-system, multi-system is getting more important. So I did multiple revisions of those things. And cardio and musculo, I was pretty much sure with your lectures and even the ethics. Like with your lectures, I was confident, okay, I will be able to answer most of them. So I focused more on neuro and non-system for did multiple revisions.
Okay. That's good. All right. So those are some great tips, guys. Like some great tips, because some of the strategies that you guys shared about revising ethics every day, because planning is important. So thank you again for all those tips. It's again, congratulations to all three of you. It has been a great
Thank you so
achievement. Very
much.
proud of you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
So
Thank you so
one
much.
last thing, like Janki Shah, did you have any mentors?
No, sir,
You
I
managed
did
by
not.
yourself? Because we
Yeah.
get the question from students, can I pass without mentorship? I mean, we have a lot of students who do pass, who are like Janki, who do pass without mentorship, but that doesn't mean mentorship doesn't help. Mentorship makes a difference too.
Yeah,
Like it
of course.
adds 10 to 15%, definitely 15-20%
Yeah.
to your overall results. But if you are sincere, if you can follow a schedule, you can make it by yourself also.
Yes.
Yes. All right, guys, you enjoy the victory. Go out and
Thank you so
celebrate,
much.
and let us know
Thank
if
you
you
so
guys need
much, sir.
any help. Okay. Thank you.
Bye, sir.
I'll try to. Rahul, I'll send you the invite. And if we have other students, feel free to request. Hey, Rahul.
Hi, sir. Hello, sir.
Rahul, just give me a second. Let me read some of the questions. How can we start from which step? So Neha is asking, how can you tell me? How can we start from which? Step one is credentialing. Neha. So if you're not done with credentialing, you should go to the website of CAPR and request or start the credentialing process. That is step one. And I think I'm inviting Asjad. And let me see if I have any other question. Guys, if I missed your question, feel free to put your question again. Hi, Asjad. Just give me a second, Asjad. I'll come to you.
Yeah.
How many months before the exam one should opt for mentorship? So Shruti, mentorship goes for 2.5 months. And you should reach out to mentors in advance, at least 4-5 months, because like mentors like Kiran, they get booked. They're full like 4-5 months before the exam. So at least reach out to them, talk to them, and book the mentorship. Your mentorship will start at 2.5 months before your exam at least, but you should book mentorship in advance. Otherwise, you may not get the mentor that you're looking for. All right, good. So we have Rahul here and we have Ajad, both of them like successful candidates. Both of them passed the exam. So I'll start with you, Rahul. Rahul, give me a little background about you. Like, when did you graduate from PT school, and a little bit about you.
Sir, 2015 from Mumbai, India.
Which university in Mumbai?
2015.
Which college in Mumbai?
We are from the same college. We are. He's
Both of you?
my junior. Yeah. We are from DY Patil. Yeah.
DY Patil from. Okay, that's great.
When I was in the first year, he was the intern over there.
He was the intern? Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. You know, that was the same case with me and Mayank sir. When I started first year, Mayank sir was doing internship. All right, so I'll start with you, Rahul. Rahul, tell us about the difficulty level of this exam that you took in July. How will you rate from 1 to 10? How difficult was this exam?
Yeah, it was difficult.
Like,
it was
8, 9,
7. 6,
7. And compared to StudyBuddy exam, was our exam difficult than PCE or?
Your exam was difficult in terms of theory, and this was difficult in terms of there were no direct questions.
No Great questions in this one. Okay. Okay, that's good. So Ajit, what do you think about this exam? How will you rate? Like how easy or hard was this for you?
I mean, it was quite difficult because, most of the concepts that we were taught in college, either they were completely wrong or we weren't taught. So, so like after study buddy, it was like, oh, we just wasted 4.5 years in college because the amount of things that we've learned with you, it just exceeds what we've done in the last 4.5, 5 years. So that really
That's
helped.
very impressive to hear. That's good to know.
Yeah.
You know what the problem is? Not the problem is because we are trained not for multiple choice question. We are trained for like comprehensive answers. So somehow we are not trained for this kind of exam,
Yeah.
and that's where the problem starts. But Ajit, give us some tip. Like musculo is so huge.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you finish musculoskeletal? What all things you did for MS?
So honestly, in my case, because there was no approval and everything, and from like my credentials weren't there, and just about 4 days before the July window was going to get over, could I book the exam? And then I was flying all the way to India. So I started studying properly in May. But then because I was in India, I would just lock myself in my room and I was pushing for about 14 to 16 hours a day.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I just kept repeating your lectures, and then I was also with Kiran ma'am. So what I would do is I would see the lecture, I would finish the readings, whatever she had given, and then so the individual tests which are there on the portal, I would give those tests. And in case if I have not scored well in that particular topic or in that section, I would just go and review it, and that's how I could finish everything in a much shorter span than what others took.
So
That was one of those things that helped me really.
that's what we tell every time that watch the lecture, PowerPoint, and go and take the quiz. Now, how did you read any textbooks for MSK?
I did. So whatever Kiran ma'am had told us to read, I would finish your lecture, and then I would just pinpoint and find out the things that were related to the lecture from the readings which were given by ma'am, and I would just go and read it.
Okay. That's great. That's great.
Because I had very little time, so I just kept
I mean,
powering
manage
through.
many things in short time, and that's one of the best strategy. Like finish the lectures, notes, and then go and take the quiz. That's good. So Rahul, give us some strategy about ethics. What were you doing for ethics?
So what worked for me is that read the website. Alberta website is good.
Okay.
And then watch your lectures, and then again read the website.
Okay.
And and then FAQs and cases.
FAQs from Alberta or
no, FAQs from Ontario.
Ontario.
Yeah. FAQs from Ontario.
And that's a good strategy. Like what?
Because once you read from the website and then watch your lectures, it will be much more clear.
Okay. So I mean, definitely that will be helpful if you can go and read the website or maybe FAQs at least once and then come for the class. Otherwise, class has so many question, and things may go over the head. It does get challenging. And then again, definitely go back and do it. Now, how are the practice exams, Rahul? Like, did you take all the practice exams? All of them?
All.
And what was your score, if you remember, like in exam 3, 4,
2? 3 and 4 was 129. 4th was 129.
3 and 4 was 120. That's pretty good score.
128, 129.
Because exam 3 and 4 is hard.
Yeah.
So that's a good score. Anything else for ethics you did? Anything different other than
cases? And after each case, there was a follow-up what all standards were compromised in this case. So after reading the case, read the standard. That helped a lot. Again, So like once we read the case, there are 2 or 3 standards below which mention which are like involved in this case.
And now, case of the month, were you reading it from the website or case of the month from the PDF?
Kiran ma'am had given us a whole like from right from I guess from 2017 all the cases. I didn't read from there, but I started from 2019 to March 2023. All those cases.
And you finished pretty much all the cases.
Yeah, all the cases.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's a good strategy. Okay, I'll come to you, Ashit. Ashit, tell me about other systems. Anything unique for other systems? I mean,
So
or was it the same strategy for every system?
it was the same, but then again, the lowest that I scored was in other systems. But because my score was extremely high in neuro and in cardiovascular, and then again, I had a decent score in musculoskeletal, it just helped my overall score.
What was your score? If you remember your score, if you can share the score in.
So I don't remember overall scores, but I think in musculoskeletal it was around 630 something,
Okay.
and then in neuro it was 670 or 680,
Okay.
and then in cardiovascular again, around the same, like 670 or 660. I don't remember exactly, but then I remember my musculoskeletal, my multi-system, right, because it was the lowest, so it was 588.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's an extremely low score, but because of the like all the other scores, I just managed to pass.
Yeah. That's how it is. That if you get score high in any of the section, overall score goes up.
Yeah.
I mean, I was surprised this time. Cardiopulmonary average was 699.
Yeah,
That was
it's
like
quite
that's
high.
a pretty high number for cardiopulmonary. But surprisingly, many students, when I talked to them, I mean, their score was high. Like, they were like 710, 720, or even 680. So even if you score 680, and although the average is 699, but
Yeah.
you are 80 points above the passing mark. So overall, it will help you pass.
That's
So
true.
those things. Now, how will you rate the questions of cardiopulmonary? Was it easy or was
So
it
cardiopulmonary
very
was a little complicated because I think the first question that I had on my screen was about ankylosing spondylitis, and it was talking about a bacterial infection, and the patient had pneumonia. So what was like really
it was easy
the
to
impairment?
manage?
Yeah.
Easy to manage.
So,
Okay.
in fact, it was like easy to answer, but only if you knew the concept. But thanks to all your lectures and whatever readings that we had, it was quite smooth sailing. Even though it was a little difficult, we had like a smooth sail through.
That's good to hear because you know what? I guess these sections are playing major role now, like cardiopulmonary, other systems, because questions are not very hard to answer, but you can score high there,
Yeah.
and the number of questions are also very limited. So I mean, if anybody is listening, if you want to work on some areas, cardiopulmonary and other systems should be your like, focus. Muscular, definitely, it will take a lot of time to finish that muscular part, but your score will never be like 700 or 680 or 690 because I've not seen that kind of score in muscular in last when once they change the pattern. So that's good to hear. So Rahul, one more thing before we let you guys go. How many months did you spend time preparing for this exam?
So I started the lectures, and then I followed all the lectures. That time I was working also. So I followed all the lectures for like 3 months, neuro and your lectures, all the system, and then I went back home for 3 months. So then I didn't study anything,
Okay.
and so I came here. Then from March to July full time study. Then it
March,
was
April, May. Okay. So 3 months of full time before the 3 months finished lectures.
last 2 months was like only study.
Only studies. So you are not working at all.
6 weeks I was 2 months, seven to
Are you
eight
guys
weeks I was there.
both in India right now? Both of
No,
you.
No, I'm
I just came to Canada like about a week back.
But you were in India when you were preparing for this exam.
Yes, so that was the advantage that I
Yeah.
had because I did not have to cook, clean, do anything. I was just sitting and studying.
Yeah. How about you, Rahul? Were you in India preparing for
no,
this
no.
exam?
I
You
get
were in
it
Canada,
from here.
but you are not working. So I mean, you know what? This is one of the biggest decisions. Students are always stuck. Should I quit or should I work? Should I quit? Should I work? So as a student, what will you tell them? Like, should I work?
At least 6 weeks.
At least
At
6
least 6 weeks. At least 6 weeks.
Okay, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. All right, so I'll let you guys go. I mean, enjoy. It's a big victory. Stay in touch with us. Let me know if you have any
Definitely.
questions. And I'm checking. One of my friends, one student is saying that her friend scored 773 in cardio. Yeah, I mean, I will agree. I mean, because cardiopulmonary score was pretty high this time. So I mean, they might have scored 773. And again, number of the questions were not very difficult. So that's possible. One girl is asking, Dr. Gupta is asking, initially lectures is enough or we need to read extra?
Yes.
What do you guys think? Lecture is enough?
Lectures is enough.
Lectures is more than enough.
Lectures is enough.
More than enough.
Lectures is
The-
enough. At the end, just go through all surgeries and all those things.
Okay.
I mean, even if you do just the lectures, most of the major concepts are already covered, and then you just read to develop an edge, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like initially lectures are fine, and later on, when you're doing exams, and if some questions are getting wrong or you come across some new topics, That's when you can go and read it from the book if it's not clear, but otherwise books may not be needed that much, right? Okay.
But it's so simplified in your lectures that sometimes if you read the book, it just confuses you a little more than it needs to.
So I remember that. All right, guys. So I'll let you guys go and enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again for
Thank you, sir.
coming. Thank you for sharing amazing
Thank you,
tips.
sir.
And let us know if you need any help from us.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So Ankita, which books we need to refer? Ankita, books. For MSK, you have Carolyn Kistner. Kistner is a good book for MSK. I mean, there are so many books. Dutton is recommended by CAPR. Kistner is there. McGee is there. But I'll say if you have to pick one book, go with Kistner. For neuro, you have Sullivan, physical rehabilitation book. Then cardiopulmonary, Hilgess, I'll recommend. And other systems, go with Goodman, pathological implications. Nikita is asking what helped in cardiopulmonary. Nikita, I mean, what I heard from students, what they said is like they just they just watch the lectures and the notes from the classes, which was sufficient for them. Now, Nikita, cardiopulmonary is not as tricky as back in the day it used to be, so you can manage it easily. So, do you need any relevant experience? Not really. Yeah, you don't need any experience. I mean, if you have an experience, it will help, but now you can't go and join any cardiac unit for any experience. Physiotherapist assistant job in Canada. I don't think it matters. I don't think it helps at all. But if you have any student who are licensed and are here in the chat box, if you guys can share, does that job really help? PTA job in Canada? I don't think it does help. What percentage of ethical questions in exam? Let me see. I'm trying to add 3-4 students. They're not able to join in. If you guys can request again, sometimes this live won't let me take you in if your Instagram is a little outdated. So as Ajay is saying, PTA experience does not matter. It does not help. Okay, even Aman is saying it does not help. That's good to know. So anybody there? One of the biggest mistake many of the internationals do is like as soon as they land in Canada, they're like, let me work as a therapist. But that job is honestly not going to give you any understanding of how the exam is going to be. Trust me. I mean, you can work to make some money. That should be your answer. Like, let me go out and make money. And because that money is also not enough. But don't tell anyone that, okay, I'm doing that so that I'm gaining some experience. No, we know that doesn't help. Okay. Right. How many questions for MSK? Shruti, just stick to the blueprint. Blueprint, what they say is like 50% MSK, 20% neuro, 20% cardio, 10% other systems. It can go up and down a little bit, and ethics questions fall in each section. MSK ethics, neuro ethics, cardio ethics, and other systems ethics. It goes like that. When your session will start? Well, we already started yesterday. You can still join in. We give access for the whole 1 year. Okay, all right. Fine. For some reason, I'm not able to get you guys in. As if you can request again for the live, it's not allowing me to get you in. Ankita, I'll recommend you to check the requirements because they keep changing. Just check the requirements once again about IELTS. But I believe that's correct what you're writing overall. But they did made some changes recently, so check the requirement again from their website. Okay, any other questions, guys? Any other questions, any other concerns in your preparation, if you're preparing for the exam, or if you missed it, if you had any problem in the exam that you want to share? Okay, all right. So, all right, guys. So I'll just let you guys, I'll end this live. It was a quick, short one. Just wanted to share things. And those were some great feedback from students. So go ahead, enjoy your Sunday. You can reach out to us. You can write an email, PCEStudyBuddy@gmail.com. And if you have any questions, reach out to us. We can discuss on call. Okay. All right, guys. You have a great Sunday evening. Anyone had difficulty in remote proctoring? It's quite common, Divya. Students does face some problem. Some students are not able to complete their exams. They're not able to start the exam on time. It gets delayed sometime, but overall, this time I did not hear anybody having any problem. Okay. Neha, you won't understand the scoring system because it's out of 800 points. So I'll say not to worry about that. Each section has 800 points, so you probably won't understand that. They don't release much information about the scoring system, so not to worry about that. Focus on, you have 200 questions in your exam, and you need to at least focus on getting 130, 140 questions correct to pass. All right, guys, you have a great Sunday evening. Let us know if you need any help, and